Hello guys, this is Crescent here. Today I'll bring you my Stamina DK build for One Tamriel patch updates 12. As you can see, this is a 2-hand plus sword and board build, the typical standard Stam DK build, Stam DK setup I would say. Sword and board and 2-hand. This build has good damage I would say because of the proc sets we'll be using, meta sets, everyone know. With an additional twist to it, which gives you really good survivability, because of the crazy heals you receive from using the sets that I'll be showing later. Okay, so what is this build for? This build is particularly good for soloing. It's actually one of the best build for soloing because I've been testing a lot of sets, a lot of medium armor sets, heavy armor sets, and I come up with this build. And I'm really satisfied with the results so far. Been playing it for about 2 days I would say, and yeah, so far I haven't recorded the clips yet, but I'll be doing some recording soon and I'll be posting it soon after this build video is released. Alright, so let's get to the point. Let's check out the sets what we'll be using. As you can guess, the typical thermal skill. This is just too good for Stam DK because as a Stam DK you don't have your own DPS skill, you have to rely on weapon skill lines, DPS skill. That's why this is just too good, and you need to use puncture for this skill. 7.8 damage, which is decent, and the good thing about this set is it procs at a really high chance, 50% proc chance, as you can see. You want, if possible, impend on every single thing you have, but sturdy is decent as well, I would say. Okay, then come to the Viper. I would say thermal skill and Viper is just heaven made for each other because of the 4-second cooldown on Viper and 4-second cooldown on thermal skill. That's why it's just too good together. You can't use this set. I mean, you have to use this set as a sword and board DK because what else can you run? You can run other things as Celine, but the proc rate is just not reliable. And yeah, this is just too good to let up for solo player. Because you need every DPS you can pump out to kill guys, to kill squishy target fast, you know, so you can go on to the next target. That's why you need a Viper and thermal skill. And the set we'll be running instead of Black Rose, people usually will use thermal skill, Viper, Black Rose. That's a typical set. Good damage, good sustain and everything, but we'll be using this Knight Errant set. This is a really good set. This is really underappreciated, this set. Yeah, as you can see, it's almost the same damage as Black Rose, but you get a bit more, 193 weapon damage instead of 149 I would say on a Black Rose. And the good thing about this, you get a heal when you use sword and board abilities, and you'll be using 2 sword and board abilities, which is the reverberating bash and puncture. Every time you use that skill, you get a healing, and this healing will increase when you use buffs such as volatile armor, when you put in some CP into healing receive and healing done, or major mending, or even lingering potions. This will increase the healing from this set. That's why it's so damn good. Alright, and I'll be using one shield of the Knight Errant set because you don't need it on the two-hand. I'll just use a bit better axe just for the dot damage, and one Viper because your combo Viper with the puncture, everybody knows it. You use puncture, you get the Viper proc, and you get the thermal skill proc. Goes together handy, so you need one piece of each together, or you can use 2 Viper, doesn't really matter. Yeah, preferably everything in pen, but sturdy because I'm a bit too lazy to farm. That's why I'll be using some sturdy pieces. That's what I got, so I'll just use it. And yeah, that's about the sets actually. And where can you farm them? For thermal skill, you need to go to Olafel, and for Knight Errant you have to go to the Pirate King dungeon. I can't remember the name, but the last boss is the bone pirate guy. And for Viper, you need to go to Fungal Grotto to farm them. For Viper set, it's really easy because you will just be farming the rings and you just need to kill the last boss. That's all on veteran mode. And we are done with items. Yeah, going through the pots quickly. what pots I'll be using. I'll be using Lingering just against a heavy dot build. Weapon crit just for a bit of damage. Yeah, this is really good. A bit of burst heal and crit damage. Immovability, this is also a burst heal and immune to knockbacks as well. This is really good after you use what you call that, corrosive armor, because people can't disable you, people can't CC you. You can just give them the deeps. Alright, this is another pot. Immovability, give you major expedition just to run away from Zergs. This one is really good. This is a must have when you are a solo player, because as a DK you are just too slow to run away from. You don't have cloak, you don't have streak. I'm not a vampire, so I can't use mist form, so you have to use rely on pots. I'll be using the max health and max stamina food, which is pretty obvious because as a heavy armor build, you can't run regen, you have to go for max stam. Alright, yeah, before I forget, I'll be using 2 medium armor and 5 heavy. And poisons, yeah, need to go through the poisons quickly. I usually will use this dot poison on my gap closer bar, and I'll leave it open without a poison on my DPS bar, sword and board bar, because I like this weapon enchant, give you this flat 300 for 48 weapon damage, which is just good for the burst, you know, the instant burst when you use Tomo skill and everything. Then you just drop a Dawnbreaker, execute instantly. That's what I like to use. That's why I'll leave this spot here empty without a potion, and I'll use the double dot potion with the increased cost of stamina abilities. What else you can use? You can use the potions. You can use a lot. Actually, you can use increased magicka cost, which is good as well, stamina and magicka, or you can just use a flat out dot potion poison as well, which is really good. Alright, so let's go straight into the skills. Yeah, this is really simple setup for Slam DK. You can't change much actually. Reverse slice for the execute, a bit of AoE. Noxious breath for AoE damage as well. You can run venomous claw here. If you don't like running execute, you can always run a really good skill, which is the rearming traps. It's awesome as well, really good. Crazy dot, which snares people as well. But I like to use execute. Stampede, get closer, or you can crit rush, doesn't really matter. Volatile armor for the increased resistance. If you feel like you're really tanky, you're tanky enough, you can use Dragonfire skills, wings, just to reflect projectile, which is really nice as well. But I prefer the raw physical resistance, because nowadays with all these Zergs running around, they won't go easy on you. They'll just go hard on you with Viper, with Celine, with Trauma skill, with everything they got. So you need the really solid resistance. Rally burst heal, major brutality, corrosive, your oh shit button, or I would say your ultimate against tanky units, because this while active your attacks 100% of the physical resistance, which is really good against tanky Malubeth guys, you know, which have crazy armor and stuff like that. Alright, on the sword and board bar, you'll be running Ransack. This is your bread and butter DPS. Revert Bash, this is your CC, your major defile. This is a must have as well. These two will give you the heal from the Knight Errant set. Shuffle, must have obviously. Igneous Shield, your major mending, with the which not only your major mending but your minor brutality as well. As you can see, when I use this skill, I get my buff on, which is a minor brutality increase. I think 10% of, yeah, I stated it, 10% I think. Let me go through it really quickly. Yeah, 5% weapon damage, yeah, which is decent, I would say. 20 seconds, and you gain ultimate. That's why you need to use this a lot of during the combat, during your rotation, your ransack, your revert bash rotation. you need to include Igneous Shield just to gain that ultimate, because you're not running Black Spawn, you're not running Heroic Slash. That's why your ultimate game is really slow on this build. That's why you need to spam Igneous every 5 seconds to get that extra ultimate gain. Yeah, Vigor your healing, and Dawnbreaker your CC and your AoE dot plus burst damage. Yep, I'll go through the CP really quickly. I'm no expert in CP, but I guess this will do. 1 point to reduce cost, 80 into reduce stamina cost. This is important. You can put 100 into here, doesn't really matter, but 80 is just fine for me. Bashing focus, because you'll be weaving a lot of light attack, puncture bash, so you need 15, maybe a bit more in this bashing focus. Just a bit into double digits for your stamina recovery. You don't need much, maybe 30 is enough. 1% to magical recovery just for the benefit. Tenacity just a bit for the heavy attacks, stamina recovery. Tumbling, this is important because sometimes you might get negate, or you might get rooted. You don't want to spam shuffle all the time, because it costs a lot. Shuffle, usually you use shuffle after break free ring, because of the stamina cost of shuffle. It's like 3.5k or more. That's why tumbling is good. And obviously you need a block cost because you're running sword and board build. This is pretty obvious. I got at the moment 3 pieces of sturdy. That's why I just invested only 24 points into this. But if you don't have any sturdy, if you are on full in pen, 7 pieces in pen or 8 pieces in pen including your shield, you might need a bit more, like 40 points into this Shadow one. Yeah, but if you have some into sturdy, 20 points is enough. Bless just for the extra healing. It will stack up all the healing, so I would say 22% is good. 22 points is good. Shattering Blows, melee weapon expert, you need 30 points into this whole tree just to get this passive, so you can do damage while you're blocking every 5 seconds, which is decent. For sex rights, we are not a crit build, we only have 30% crit, 32% I think, without any crit buffs, so 24 points is decent, maybe 20 points, something like that. A bit of piercing, not too much, because you need all your points into mighty just to increase the damage of thermal skill damage, viper damage. Everything will scale up from mighty. That's why it's super important to have 100 points into mighty. Yeah, 30 into resistance, just to resist the crit damage. Thick skin, well, minimum 10 points I would say, because from all the dots you will receive from Zergs, you know, they'll just, yeah, you get dots all around the places, even dots from poisons. That's why you need thick skin. Hardy 70%, more than Element Defender, because nowadays more people are running stamina builds. And Expert Defender, just a bit of reduced cost, just a bit reduced damage from heavy and light attacks, which is sweet as well. And quick recovery for the extra healing you get, just to stack up everything from major mending, quick recovery, the volatile armor, and from what you call this, blast as well. So you stack up your healing a lot. Alright, so I basically cover almost everything. The race, I still need to cover the race. Red guard is just too good on this. You need to be a red guard. But if you're not a red guard, try to get something with max stamina, with a max stamina bonus. Any race with max stamina bonus will do, but I highly suggest you go red guard on this build because of the limitation from the resource you will be receiving. So what you will be receiving when people attack you, you get the passive for heavy armor. That is one source of stamina recovery. You'll get 900. Another source would be from Igneous. Igneous will give you, I think, I'm not sure how much it will give you, but it will restore 5% stamina, 5% from 40k stamina, max stamina you have, which is decent. And you need another one from Red Guard, because 2 is not enough obviously, because your recovery is only about 650. So from the Red Guard you get 3 recovery source including this you'll get 4, so which is really sweet. Being a red guard for stamina DK, it's the best, it's just the best, simply. Alright, so actually we are done with everything. I'll just show a really quick combo, how to kill off your opponent really quick. I like to do this in all my builds, especially the ones with proc sets, because you need to know how to kill off your opponent fast as a solo player, because the Zerg will keep coming in. They will just flow, you know, the Zergs. When you're playing solo, they will come in, they'll come in, they'll come in again and again after you take a resource, because, you know, that's what Zergs do. They're not good enough to play solo. They'll come in with a group and they'll just roll in like ants. So you need to kill off people fast. So usually what I do, I'll just buff up. I'll get all of my buffs here, these 4 buffs, Major, Minor, Brutality, Shuffle, and this armor buff. And after I get all my buffs up, usually you'll start off with a Get Closer in, Light Attack, and then you put your dot. So you apply, if possible, possibly 3 dots. Your Poison, your Noxious Breath, and your Bleed from your axe in the 2-hand bar. Then after this, you quickly switch to your one-handed shield, Light Attack, Puncture, and Bash. This is what you will do. And after this, after Light Attack, Puncture, Bash, if you have your ulti, you can just drop your ulti and then you switch off your 2-hand into Execute. Or if you don't have ulti, just use Reverse Bash, repeat the same combo again, and switch to your Sword and Bond and just execute. That's what I do usually. If people don't break free fast, they will just melt, unless they're using heavy armor. If you're fighting someone with heavy armor and you can't kill them, just be patient, keep your ulti, try to save up for this ulti, Corrosive, because you need Corrosive to kill the tanky guys. It's really obvious, because they will just block and you don't have a CC to break through block. That's why you need Corrosive, to burn through that, all that armor that they have, you know, and poisons as well. So you need to be patient when fighting some really tanky. Let's say this is a really tanky DK with 7 heavy, with block resist and everything, you know. So what you do, you just fight them, you just use your combo, use Igneous in between to maintain your stamina, and then you switch to your 2-hand bar, apply the dot, apply the buffs and everything. As soon as you got your Corrosive up, pop an immovable pop, people can't stun you, and you go full damage on them, full hardcore. That's how you kill tanky guys. And yeah, just remember to always use your buffs. All these 4 buffs over here, need to maintain them up. That's why I use this add-on, which is really cool, Buff Tracker add-on. And yeah, keep every 5 seconds or 6, I'm not sure, just use your Igneous just to recover your stamina. Yeah, and yeah, that's about the build actually. Just show you the stat sheet really quickly. Yeah, this is a fully buff build, fully buff damage and everything, but bear in mind that the weapon damage will increase because of the ref passive from heavy armor, and when you do a light attack from your Viper sword, you'll get that 300 damage extra. So this can go up to 3500 I think, more or less, which is really nice. The stats are really impressive. That is excluding the damage from Thermal Skill and Viper. That's why this setup is really good for soloing, and the healing you get from Errant Knight as well. So yeah, I'll be doing some solo gameplay later on, and I'll be recording them. So after this build is out, maybe after 2 or 3 days, I'll release the 1vx clips on the same channel as well. So see you guys in Cyrodiil then. Hopefully yeah, hopefully you'll use this build, because this is really awesome. Alright, see you guys.